Hi, I'm Taylor with Mom on the Spectrum, and today I had to shoot this video over Bella Baxter from Poor Things because I saw the movie last night. I stayed up, couldn't go to sleep. My brain was just enamored, confounded, all of the big words about how I related to this character. So, spoiler alert, I don't know how to talk about this without talking about things that actually happen in the movie. So, if you haven't seen it, just save this video to your watch later and come back after you've seen it. Before I talk about how I related to Bella, I want to make sure that you know about the classes that I teach for the autistic community. So I was diagnosed about almost 4 years ago now, and now I run classes to help connect the autistic community to other autistic adults and to autistic resources to help us better navigate life and live life more fully. So if you're interested in checking out a class with me, you can go to momonthespectrum.life/community. That link is also in the description below. Okay, so Poor Things. I saw the trailer and I was like, what is happening in this trailer? But I love Emma Stone. I love Mark Ruffalo. And it looked immediately captivating to me. Like, what is going on? I don't understand. So I get to the theater. I go see it by myself. I don't know what to expect. And the whole thing, it just gripped me from the start. And part of the experience I had was that when the movie ended, it almost felt like I had ended. That sounds so dramatic. But I didn't even realize until I sat there through the whole, like all of the end credits. I was the last one in the theater and I was just kind of stuck to my chair. And it took me a minute to like come back into my body. This sounds so dramatic. But I was just gripped by the character of Bella Baxter. And in a way, I started to feel like I was her in the movie. I started to feel like I could predict what she was going to do or say or experience next. And I feel like so much of it is related to the neurodivergent experience and the autistic experience more particularly. And I don't think it was intentionally made that way. Okay, and here's where the big spoiler is, but like, so she's living this life. She had a baby's brain put in an adult body, in Bella Baxter's body. Well, she becomes Bella Baxter. So she's essentially living with a child's brain, but in an adult's body. And I think people on the spectrum, and I'm going to be speaking generally, my experience doesn't apply to everybody's, but I think we tend to have a bit of naivete. I never know how to say that word, where we just expect the best from people. We want the best. We hope for the best. There's one line where someone asks Bella, I can't remember the character's name. He says, why do you stay with him? And she's talking about this abusive, toxic relationship she's in. And she says, I just keep thinking things will get better. And so I think there's this people pleasing. It's not necessarily people pleasing, but this naivete of like, I see that there's good in him. I see that he can be better. And that's the way she approaches the world too. Like, it can be better. Like, surely we don't have to live with this darkness. Surely there's something we can do, to the point where she gives away a large sum of money frivolously, like to these men who end up taking it from her, and not using it for, to fight the injustice that she was so compelled by, right? That's like one of the most intense experiences that she has in the movie is seeing this devastating portrayal of injustice, which, if you're an autistic person, you know that we are completely gripped by injustice. If something unjust is going on, we have a very difficult time focusing on anything else. The other thing with Bella was her social interactions. They made sense to me. I mean, she's trying to understand, why isn't everybody just saying what we're thinking? Like, why you can see her figuring out, they call it polite society, like how to be in polite society, which is exactly what the heck autistic people are doing, is we are trying to figure out, okay, who do I need to be so that I don't get these funny looks, right? Why when I say this do other people look at me weird? And Bella has that same experience, and she's so confused of like, well, wouldn't it just be better? She's talking to these, I'm kind of switching topics a little bit, but when she's working as a sex worker, and she's like, wouldn't it just be better if the women picked the man? Like, wouldn't you enjoy it more if you felt wanted. And so it's just all of these questions that she's asking, like, why are we doing it this way? And that's what it is to be autistic, is to ask these questions of, why are we doing it this way? Why is nobody talking about why we aren't doing it this way? And I just found that to be so fascinating. I mean, her fashion is like, she doesn't care what anybody else thinks. She's going to wear what makes her happy. She's constantly exploring, and she has this kind of aloofness that I love, that I feel like I have in my life. She keeps wandering off. And my son does this too. My son's autistic. He always, like, when we go to the beach, he would want to walk as far away as he could. Like, he just wanted to see how far he could go. And so Bella's always wandering off. And she kind of has this attitude of like, why would you worry about me? And I wish I could remember the quote. It's in the trailer. Like, I've found it all to be, I don't know what she says, like sugar and, the quote's too good. I don't want to try to requote it, but she's just basically saying, like, out there's these contrasting dynamics of like everything good and chaos. And I found it to be wonderful, and that's me, is like, there was a line that she said, what does she say? I have found being alive to be exhilarating. Oh my gosh, if that isn't my experience as an autistic person, I wish I could live 1,000 lifetimes and just explore and discover and learn and read. Bella becomes captivated by learning and reading and studying philosophy and different ways to think about the world, how to hold conflicting ideas of good and evil, right and wrong, how to use, negativity in your life to your advantage, how to use those challenges to your advantage. So just to see this all played out, to see her go from like a baby, in an adult's body, trying to figure out, okay, these are the social rules. This is what I'm allowed to do. This is what I'm not allowed to do. And then creating this beautiful framework of how to be in the world and how to make sense of all the eccentricities and all the paradoxes. And she comes into it in her own way, truly in a character that nobody has ever portrayed in film. It was so amazing to see that. And I just felt like one with Bella in the movie, and my heart just went out to her. It's like, I understand you. She stemmed all the time. She loved the sound of breaking plates, and she would smash them, and she would, the way she would move her body, and the way, even using sex, she needed this stimulation, and she craved, movement. And it's just all of these little pieces of the autistic experience where I was like, wow, this is just, it kept me up last night. And I've just been enamored with the whole experience. I can't wait to watch it again. Not only that, but I mean, the direction is amazing. It's, what is it? Yorgos Lanthimos. I don't know how to say his name. Brilliant direction. Mark Ruffalo is like, he was great. But then today I woke up and I was like, he was great. I mean, he was just like, looking back, like, oh, he was great. Obviously Emma Stone, completely brilliant. She's a beautiful actor, and what she did was really, really incredible. I don't think anybody else has gone there before. I forgot to say at the beginning of this movie, or at the beginning of this video, this movie is not for everyone. And I wish I would have put this at the beginning, but it's very R-rated. And I know that our autistic community tends to be a little bit more, I say this in the most loving way, sensitive towards sensitive material. We tend to be a little more easily overwhelmed by sensitive material. So please make sure you can Google, why is Poor Things rated R, and get familiar with that before you go see it, because this movie is not for everybody, especially not for everybody in the autistic community. But if you like to be challenged in the way that you're thinking, if you like, seeing new things that you've never thought about or experienced before, and kind of having your boundaries tested a little bit, you be the judge of what you can tolerate there. So that was my experience watching Poor Things. I'm really curious. I don't have anybody to talk about this with in my life, because it's not the kind of movie that my family And most of my friends would enjoy. My best friend, I think, is going to love it, but she lives in Wisconsin and she hasn't seen it yet. So I'd love to hear from you in the comments what you think about this. And I already saw another article over Bella portraying kind of neurodivergent tendencies. So I'm wondering if this is going to be a powerful character for our community. So let me know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to check out my community classes that I offer, momonthespectrum.life/community. Your brain is beautiful and you are just the way you are supposed to be. So glad you're here. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.